Welcome back. We're talking horses with Equine Scout Larry Zapp. Larry, pleasure to have you on the seminar today. Let's kind of roll up our sleeves and take a look at today's 9-race card, kicking things off in race number 1 with the 50-cent early pick 5. In addition to that, we also have a super high 5 carryover. Nobody hit it yesterday because Carla Gaines threw in a 99-to-1 shot who finished 4th in yesterday's last race. Therefore, we've got a carryover of $10,000 in today's super high 5, which kicks things off in race number 1. And we're sprinting down the turf course, 5 furlongs of the distance for maiden special weight. 2-year-old fillies, 10 feet is what is the placement for the turf rails. 2 scratches. Scratch the 3 and 4 leaves us with a field of 7. Morning line favorite number 8. Sugar 5-2 on the morning line, but right now not the betting choice. The betting choice is number 5, Comedic. Well fancied daughter who the connections paid $800,000 for. 9-5 on the morning line. You've got one in here as well, Larry. The rail Baby Steps, California Racing Partners, part owner of that particular filly. Give us your thoughts on race 1.
I've actually got 2 in here, Tom. We're also going to throw in She's Got Away.
That's right.
Number 7. And I bought that for Joe Cieglia and Mike Mellon. They team up on a couple horses together. And, you mentioned Comedic, and Comedic's probably the horse to beat, cost $800,000. But, first time out on the grass, you got to break running, I think, going 5/8. So I'm going to take a shot and beat her. We're going to call up a race here.
We are going to,
and it's going to have both those fillies, both you mentioned. Baby Steps, the 1 horse today, and She's Got Away is who's today number 7, was the 10 that day. And what we're watching here is on the outside, She's Got Away kind of broke with little hesitation and kind of lost key position in that race at Del Mar, and she's the 10 horse near the back of the pack. As you can see, Baby Steps is near the front, and she's pushing a low 21 pace on the deep dirt at Del Mar. How's that going to translate to today? I think it's going to translate very well to Baby Steps. I think she's been wanting to sprint on the turf the whole time. And if you see here, she battles the eventual winner while She's Got Away makes a nice kind of move mid-race, really looms large. But the winner is a Mendez horse, and we know how well prepped the Mendez horse is our first time out. Well, Pete Erden, with She's Got Away, he doesn't overly prep his horses first time out. Right here, you saw her get involved. You saw Baby Steps getting a little tired. She's on the inside, but She's Got Away just made a nice prolonged rally. She put in her 2.5 furlongs. And right here, Giovanni Franco, who's on her today, what he's doing is he's just guiding her home. He knows he's not catching the winner, so he protects her for the next start, which is now today. And I think this filly out of a mare named Lily Pod, who is grade 3 placed and was a good grass horse, I think this horse is going to translate very well. I just loved her debut. She's Got Away, so I'm going to pick her on top, and I'm going to take my other filly just to be the speed play of the race. I think Victor Espinoza, new jockey for her, is going to break running, and I think they're going to have to catch her today. I think that 21 and change last race, I think that translates well. So maybe you can call me a homer here, but let's see if being a homer counts. I'm going with my 2 fillies. That's the 7, She's Got Away, and the 1 horse, Baby Steps. And I'm just taking a little stand against the probably heavy favorite, the 5, Comedic here.
Current odds on Larry's top choice, number 7, She's Got Away, 9-1 on the board. Number 1, Baby Steps, perhaps the speed of the field, 5-1 on the board. Bombs away in race number 1, so says Larry Zapp. Let's see if there's any bombs lurking in race number 2. We're on the main track, 6.5 furlongs the distance. Fillies and mares, $10,000 is the claiming tag. Also, race 2 begins the 50-cent early pick 4, a field of 6. Number 6, Truly Fabulous from the Jonathan Wong barn, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Talk to us about race 2, Larry.
Tom, nobody's going to get rich in this race. I mean, it's a 10 claimer. There's 6 horses. I mean, there's some hard knockers in here. And if as a player, and if I'm playing like an early pick 5, I might not want to lose this race, and I might end up buying a race like this. But if I have to give you two choices, which I'm going to do, I'm going to go with the 2 logical choices. And to me, Bob Hess, who's really since the middle of Del Mar has been on fire. Horses just keep firing. This horse here has been very sharp. It's a Riddle, the 2 horse. Second last time going a mile. The time before it was 3rd closing at 5.5. So this horse can sprint her route and be in the 6.5 today. I think it's a perfect cutback from the mile. No doubt the horse to beat is the outside horse of Jonathan Wong's, Truly Fabulous. This horse has been running in that first Calbred condition. This is a decisive drop in class. This horse isn't as proven on dirt, but did win in Pleasanton in July, so it can handle dirt. Cozy outside post, probably can track or be on the lead. I just think these are the two best horses in the race. And if I have to pick two horses, I'm going to go 2-6 in a race I absolutely do not like.
Interesting Invader, number 4, Marvelous Marvelous. You don't see this track abbreviation very often for trainer Paul Aguirre, first time in his barn. LBG, actually had to look it up, not familiar with it. LBG, believe it or not, stands for Rocky Mountain Turf Club in Alberta, Canada. Can't recall the last time we've had an Invader from the Rocky Mountain Turf Club, but we do today at the Great Race Place. Let's take a look at race number 3, back sprinting on the turf course, 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf surface, not down the hill, but on the flat flat turf surface, I should say. 6.5 furlongs on the turf, maiden special weight Calibreds, field of 10. Take note that number 1, Tiger's Arrow, is a first-time gelding, and the morning line favorite, number 5, Hail Freedom from the Doug O'Neill barn. Doug had a really big day yesterday, Larry. Is he going to win race 3?
He had a huge day yesterday. I mean, it started in the morning with Hot Rod Charlie and continued through the races. I mean, because, and Mr. Strauss, one of the owners, Bill Strauss, came out and was all smiles. I could tell. I had looked over my shoulder and saw him being all happy. The horse fits, but there's no doubt in my mind the horse to beat is a horse I almost called up the tape on this, and that's the 4-horse Allegato. He didn't break running, 5/8 on the grass, Mark Ladd. It's a Kitten's Joy. The horse did everything wrong in the race and yet came home with a burst of energy. And there's no doubt in my mind is the horse to beat here. Obviously, second time out, it gets more distance to play with. And I love the variations of this turf sprinting now at Santa Anita. We're back to the downhill, but with that chute, it's a different handicapping equation. No, you go 5 to 6.5, that's a stretch out. And this horse was crying for more distance. Now, I call him the horse to beat. That's the 4 Allegato, but I'm not picking him on top. I'm picking number 2, Eagle in the Sky, on top. And the reason I am is, and by the way, Josie Aglia, he's involved with this horse. We bought in with Aaron Woman's group, Eclipse, and Gary Barber bought in right from the get-go because we all liked the horse at the sale together. Eagle in the Sky, you can say he's been a bit of a disappointment because he's a check collector, but he hasn't broken through yet. Well, what hasn't he done? He hasn't sprinted on the grass. He sprinted on the dirt. He did it well early in his career, and then we went long on the turf, and we stayed long on the turf with him. Michael McCarthy, his trainer, asked me in the paddock at Del Mar last time what I thought. I go, well, we're going a 16th of a mile longer than last time, so I don't like our chances. I love our chances going 6.5 on the grass today. This horse wants to sprint. The mother has produced mostly sprinters, and when the real running starts, expect Eagle in the Sky cutting back in distance to be super live here. I really like this guy at 5-1. 2-4 for me in race number 3, Tom.
Larry's got opinions on today's card, that's for sure. Race number 4 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6, the jackpot single ticket carryover, now up to $237,000. Yesterday's 20-cent wager returned in excess of $17,000. The last 2 days, there have been live horses in the last race eligible for to be the only winning ticket. Unfortunately, those tickets did not win. Those horses did not win for those ticket holders. That means the carryover continues into today, and we kick things off going 1 mile on the main track. Maiden claiming $20,000 is the tag. 2 scratches. Scratch both the 1 and 3, leaves us with a field of 6. Number 5, Decline, the 5-year-old maiden, is 9-5 on the morning line for trainer Richie Baltus and bug boy Juan Espinoza. What are your thoughts on race 4?
I think I have a bad favorite here, and that is the 5, Decline. I think he was so well meant last time at 9-1. He did everything but win. He opened up and he got really late. And I think when I see a horse running for maiden 20 run that kind of race, I'm going to use the word bounce.
Sure.
Is in front of him, and he's going to get over bet because when people see horses opening up by 3, they're light. They run to the windows and think, well, they'll win next time. I'm going to take a shot against this horse, and where I'm going to go is number 7, Air, a French bred for Van Belvoir, and this horse comes out of a race Paint Me Lucky won. And Paint Me Lucky came back to Los Al after that maiden 20 win and ran a time that would have won most allowance races, if not stakes. So I think this is a very strong maiden 20 heat, if you can call a maiden 20 a strong heat. The horse obviously has speed himself and went a little too fast in that race. But I'm really hoping Herrera, who's riding pretty well, can maybe raid off the 5 horse. I just think this is the right horse on the right day. You notice the horse got claimed 2 back and got voided off the claim last time. I sometimes think these voided claim horses these are the horses that might try a little harder. And when they're cooling out and they get voided, they just might abuse themselves. After a good workout, they might have used themselves a little too much. And I think there's a high percentage of horses who come off the void and win the next race. But I just like the horse's last race. He's my top selection. And right next to him, the 8 Harbor Sky just missed catching Dakine last time, and he was claimed by the Red Hot Doug O'Neill barn. So I think there's a chance he's going to move forward off of that race. 7-8 for me in this maiden 20 going long on the dirt.
Extra note on Larry's second choice, number 8, Harbor Sky, courtesy of Brad Free at the Racing Forum. The Doug O'Neill barn with first off the claim for maidens only, 11 for 35 over the last 5 years, close to 33%. So when Doug O'Neill's barn dips in for maidens, they usually mean business first off the claim. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5 furlongs in the turf course for Calbred maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies. A full field of 10 after the scratches of the also eligibles, 11 through 14. Number 4, Warren's Queen Bee, who has had plenty of chances, is 9-5 on the morning line. Talk to us about race 5, Larry.
Well, Warren's Queen Bee deserves to be the morning line favorite here. Ran second last time. I can't say anything wrong about it. It was a slow race, but the horse ran a competitive race. Clubhouse Riot has been a good sire on any surface, so the turf doesn't bother me. But I'm looking for new shooters. When you've seen enough of the horses that have run, you start looking for new shooters in a race like this. I'm going with Eddie Truman, a tried and true trainer who knows what he's doing. And Stanford, if people haven't noticed, has been very successful as a sire of Calbred 2-year-olds because this is his first crop. And 12-1 is mighty appealing to me. The works look solid. I love to see a 113 and change for a 2-year-old filly over this track. And we're going 5/8 on the grass, but the Bertrando mare, the pedigree's there for grass. But Eddie Truman and with Jessica, who I've been told has been on this horse a bunch in the morning, why not take a chance with a first-time starter, a 12-1 morning line, competent trainer, and a win early sire. It's the number 3 Vegas Dream gets my top billing. And did you see those Square Eddies winning yesterday, or were they Square Eddie mares with the Nyquist connection? But Square Eddie is early.
Mr. Redham has everything surrounded, doesn't
God,
he?
he has it. God, what a nick. Nyquist to Square Eddie mares. That really worked yesterday. I think there were 2 winners. Shish Kebab is a Square Eddie, and this is another one of our horses. And she's done nothing wrong in the morning. To be honest with you, Ryan Hansen's got her, and we had a beautiful winner, first 2-year-old winner of the year.
I remember
with Big Treat, won by 9. So Ryan can get him to go ready early. Remember, he had that winner last year that won the Best Pal Stakes. He can get a horse going early. The early. And the name's kind of cute. Out of the mare Charred Rare, we named the horse Shish Kebab. So 2 first-timers for me. I mean, you got to beat the favorite, the 4-horse, but 3-1 for me. Just going with some first-timers with a little pedigree angle here.
Was Weston the stakes winner you were thinking of?
Weston was the stakes winner.
Bad. No one chirped that in my ear either. Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4, 6 furlongs in the main track. Fillies and mares, $16,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime. Again, a full field of 12. Just like yesterday, I think today's 20-cent rainbow pick 6 sequence is going to reward any backers that have winning tickets very handsomely. And in race number 6, the morning line favorite is a lukewarm morning line favorite, number 5, V-Bucks from the Peter Miller barn. 7-2 on the morning line, Larry. This looks like an open race.
It's a very open race. George Papadromo's got 2 recent claims, both dropping in the race. I asked Andy Harrington this morning. You did mention at the beginning of the show, I was sitting next to him this morning, which I do regularly. I said, Andy, which Papadromo's live here? He goes, I love Royal Blend's last work. I go, well, that was the one I was leaning on because of the pedigree. It's an Intimishif. It's coming out of, I think, a sneaky couple strong races. And blinkers go on. And you know what the telltale sign is? Valdivia is on. And I like Valdivia, but if I'm George Papadromo and I'm gambling, I'm throwing Valdivia on the horse to get extra price.
Mr. Sexy likes to gamble every once in a while.
I've heard of people punching tickets to their finger bled. He punched tickets earlier in the year until the paper ran out, I heard. He does like to gamble a little bit. I think this is the right horse. This horse has tactical speed. Valdivia is, like I said, very confident. Blinkers go on. The 47 and change is the work that Andy Harrington was talking about. Andy's pretty good clocker. I'll take his word for it. And I do think you have to beat the 5-horse V-Bucks in here. Got voided 2 back for 40. chased a runaway winner, Majestic Gigi, last time. I like horses that chase that kind of horse because it tells me they chased the best horse and they gave up second. They gave up that second prize trying to beat the winner. I don't see a whole lot of speed in here. If this horse has one more good race in it, I think V-Bucks and Peter Miller obviously can get the job done as the horse to beat. So those are the two horses I'm going to use here. Go 4-5 in race number 6, Tom.
Always try to read trader intent whenever you're looking at the racing form. And to me, number 5, V-Buck, sure looks like Peter Miller is begging someone to claim this Daughter of California Chrome. Voided claim 2 back for 40, dropped down to 25, no takers. Now another drop down to 16. Beaten favorite last time out. As Larry mentioned, she does have speed and maybe she has one more in here. But obviously, Peter Miller is looking to maybe open up a new space within his barn area. Race number 7, 1 mile on the turf course for 3-year-olds, non-winners of one other than a field of 9. Take note, number 8, Rocket Song is a first-time gelding, the morning line favorite. Number 2, Dicey Mo Cherub. But we want to take a look at a replay, Larry, from the John Sadler barn of number 3, Spirit Maker down at Delmar. Let's take a look at that replay. Checked at the beginning, but basically turning into the lane here was dead last. We'll kind of put the highlight on him, and you can talk to us about the run down the lane.
Yeah, well, the beginning was key because the horse lost all position. This horse likes to pull in the mornings. You know, when I tell you I watch horses gallop and such in the mornings, this horse likes to pull, and they pulled, so it was grabbed that day, and you could see right here the horse was finishing enthusiastically and has a lot of run up the rail to get like 5th that day, and it really was given no chance. A shorter field today, shorter size field is going to really help this horse.
And Larry, you mentioned enthusiastically. Look at the gallop out down on the rail here. I mean, obviously, you know, the gallop outs sometimes are overrated, but that's really what caught my eye. I'm going
to make a bold prediction. You look at the 2 running lines, because this horse started in Todd Pletcher's barn. I wouldn't be surprised if Rispoli trusts his own hands. You know, and the key, people go, what's the difference with you get people coming out to the track for the first time. They go, well, why is Pratt and Rispoli get all the live mounts, especially on grass? And I always say, I think it's in the hands. I think these guys are just magical. It'd be like, think about Ted Williams, Tony Gwynn with a baseball bat.
Shoemaker.
Yeah, or Shoemaker. So even though the horse looks like he's been wrangled, which he has in both his first 2 races, it doesn't mean this horse might not have some more speed, because there's not a ton of speed in
more
this
like
race.
A gentle touch, right?
It's a gentle touch, and that's what Shoemaker was the greatest at. But I think Rispoli's really good at it, and I think if he believes he's got horse out of the gate, he might just use some horse. And I think positioning in a race like this is key. I'm also using the 2 Dicey Mo Chara for Leonard Powell, who's having a fabulous, underrated year, by the way.
Just like Bob Hess, really had an excellent, solid Delmar meet, and it's continued
very solid. But this horse, I mean, each race, this horse has gotten better since he got this horse from Ireland, and he really knows what to do with these European horses. There's a couple other horses that could be thrown in the mix, but I'm going to stick with 2 good draws, good inside posts, and go 3-2 for me in race number 7.
Larry, you're never short on words, and I know you're able to exercise that vocabulary every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 on the Mighty 1090. You're part of the contributing team to Race and Sports Radio, hosted by Felix Taverna. Toby Terrell is also part of that team. Talk to us a little bit about the work you do for that show.
Well, Race and Sports Radio is a blast because Felix Taverna is not short of opinion, of words, of personality. He's still talking. Yesterday, they were talking about his 1-on-1 game against Drayden Van Dyke, where I guess Drayden just schooled him.
Yeah, it wasn't even a contest.
And Toby called him out on it because Toby Terrell's on the show. And Felix says, whoa, wait a second. I've been practicing. I go, I hope you pull up sound after all this practicing. No, but we talk horse racing most of the show, and Felix brings in a couple guys to talk college football. This is his favorite time of the year, and a lot of other people I know with the Breeders' Cup coming up, college football full swing, pro football full swing. How do you not like the month of October, Tom?
Baseball World Series coming up.
Baseball World Series, but Felix Taverna, he brings a lot of energy, enthusiasm, loves the game, loves to be a broadcaster, and it's just a pleasure to be on the show.
Mighty1090.com. No matter where you are in the world, you can listen every Saturday morning from 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time. It'll definitely help your handicapping opinions. Race number 8, we're back on the main track. 7 furlongs of the distance. Starter optional claiming types. A field of 8. The morning line favorite number 3, Augusta Melody from the Tim Yock Teen Barn. Abel Cedillo in the saddle. Talk to us about race 8.
I'm still wanting to get off of V-Bucks in race number 6 after you. It's exactly why I wasn't going to include that horse. Okay, we'll get back to race number 8. This race I had a hard time with. First of all, it's 7/8 of a mile. And That's not a distance we see that often. And especially with this kind of level of horse, it's a starter spot. You got horses that have been sprinting shorter distances and horses going 2 turns. I'm going to use 2 horses out of the common race, Tom. And one of them is the, I lost my spot for a second, but number 5, Impossible Task. Beat a 9-5 favorite last time for John Sadler, and they lay the horse at a fair 5-1 today. I thought the horse ran really big. The horse got floated wide between horses into the first turn, stayed the course, and kept coming on to the wire and lost to a well-meant horse that day. But I think the cut back to 7/8 just makes a lot of sense for this guy. And, he's a Liam's Map, who's becoming one of my favorite stallions out of an alphabet soup mare. So you knew this horse was going to be gray, but I think John's managed this horse properly since he claimed it for $100,000. And I think this horse is sitting on, I'd say, a big race. And the interesting horse, though, in the race out of the same race is Albazoo, the 8 horse. Kristen Mulhall, she knows how to put over a gamble or two. I see her huddling around in the morning with some Sharpies like the Steve Miottis of the world and the Jonathan Wongs of the world up in the, you gotta watch intent.
Gotta handicap the humans as much as the horses,
handicap the
right?
human. She's got Gonzalez on this horse. Big race 2 back going a mile at Del Mar. That was opening day. Willie the Cobbler freaked that day. He tried the big boys like Medina Spirit his next race, but this horse gets blinkers today and really had a rough go of it into the first turn. Then it sucked back, got in all kinds of the wrong spots. And, those of us who watch tapes, it's funny because a lot of guys bet or women bet with numbers. But when you watch tapes, a lot of times you're watching for reason to forgive a horse. You can't forgive the running line of its last race. But when you watch this horse's last race, I think Rispoli protected this horse when he got to the lane because too many things went wrong. I don't mind the jockey change today, and I just think 7/8 with blinkers on makes sense for me. This is a wide open race, but I think I got 2 decent priced horses: the 5 Impossible Task and the 8 Abazoo. That's 5-1, 12-1 for me in a wide open race.
If you have the racing form in front of you, take a look at the running lines for Albazoo for both June 6th and April 17th. You'll notice a couple of things. Both races were sprints. Both races the horse had blinkers on, and both times Ricky Gonzalez was in the saddle. All those conditions fit as well today in race number 8. We close things out for today in race number 9, but keep in mind we have special holiday racing tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific time for an excellent 10-race card. Keeneland, Belmont, Gulfstream Park, Laurel, they are all dark. They will not be running tomorrow, so the focus of the handicapping world will be right here at the Great Race Place. Make sure you tune in. 10 races starting at 1 p.m. Of course, we'll do a seminar at 11:50 a.m. Pacific time. But we close things out sprinting again on the flat turf course, 6.5 furlongs to the distance. Calbred, fillies and mares, non-winners of 1 other than. A field of 12 after the scratch of the 13. Morning line favorite number 4, Gypsy Blue from the aforementioned Kristen Mulhall barn, 5-2. But we want to take a look at the Squared Shady's last sprint performance on the turf down at Del Mar, Larry. That would be number 12, 8-1 on the morning line for trainer Jeff Bondy. Let's take a look. Coming out of the gate, drawn inside out of post position number 2, really had a tough trip all the way around.
It really did. And where it gets interesting is once they turn for home, the horse never has a clear path. And you could see the horse wants to get by these horses, and the horse is going to end up having a big gallop out. But we were talking about going from 5 furlongs to 6.5. That's what's happening here for this filly, and she's actually run good both times. She got DQ'd one time, but she's run good both times she's tried this type of distance. And I just think she's a Square Eddie on the improve. And right here,
she's in the lime green silks in between horses here.
Yeah, and she right now he'd love to angle out with her and never gets a chance to. So he's basically boxed in. When you watch the head on, you could really see it. But the horse is fighting to get out, and he'll get taken down if he does anything wrong here. But you could see the horse with a lot of run, has a lot of energy late, and just misses because of circumstance and being blocked in. And then when you see the gallop out here, we're going 6.5 today, Tom. That's a nice gallop out right
Just
there.
like Spirit Maker, right? Tremendous gallop out. And as we indicated watching the replay, if Squared Shady had any sort of room coming down the lane, the outcome might have been different. Larry?
He's Lovely Sophia, same situation, 7 horse. This horse is being forced at Del Mar to go 5 furlongs the last 2 times. throws it off a little, the form. So I think 15-1, Hector Palmer knows how to put over a horse. Tyler Bay's riding very well. I just think that's your other horse and looking for value. No doubt the favorite would be tough to beat here, but 12-7 for me. Got to go with value in these kind of races.
Looks like that type of day, Larry. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks to xptv.com for supplying us with those race replays today. Thanks to all of you for watching the seminar. Wish you nothing but luck on today's card. Have fun, everybody, and make some money.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem.